Welcome back to the GAB FX channel. Today we are mastering the breaker block blueprint.
I'll be teaching you how to master valid breaker block and invalid breaker block, and there are two types of breaker block that we have. One is this first one. So for you to understand this, your breaker block must have what? It must have sweep. First of all, look for your sweep, then break out before marking out the zone. So then your inducements must have break of structure. If your inducement did not have break of structure, that means that zone is not valid. So after marking your inducements, so if you see any kind of this type of this thing, breaker block formation, just know that market is not going to respect the first one. Do you know why? The reason is because the first one is the one that generated the second one, which is the internal one. So we'll be marking our entry from the internal one, not the first one. So the first one is something that we call smart money trap, that is SMT, is what we call this thing, smart money trap. Always mark the second one if you have double breaker blocks. Are you getting it? But if you don't have double breaker blocks, then mark the one with the sweep. So after marking it, this is what you will do again. This is what market will do first of all. Market will first trigger you, then hit your SL to use the second breaker block. So I hope that you guys have seen the reason why the first one is not valid, because this is the first one that generated the second one. So the second one is our main interest, not the first one. Do you understand? So always backtest and make sure you are following your strategy. So let's move to the next. Here is what I say. First of all, what you mark, you're going to mark this thing sweep. So after marking that your sweep, or you can start by marking your breaker blocks. Do you get? So now after marking that your breaker block, next thing is for you to do what? Look for your sweep and mark your sweep. Yes, that is our first sweep. So that is our first sweep. Now we are going to be marking our second sweep, which is this one that is our main value breaker block. Now we look for our inducement, check whether it has break of structure. If our inducement has this break of structure, that means the inducement is valid. Do you get? But if the inducement don't have break of structure, that means that zone is not valid. So this high that I'm marking now is the high that created the breaker block. That is our main breaker block, but our main point of interest is in that internal breaker block. So if you look up, you notice that our inducement has what we call this thing, break of structure, which is making it to be valid. This is the first type, and this is the second type of breaker block entry. So this is what market will do. Market will trigger you, then hit your SL and TP fast, not SL. Market will trigger you, hit your TP fast. So after market hitting your TP, you can still look for another thing. I still have this thing, so many types of breaker block that I'm going to be explaining. Well, I'm new in this YouTube stuff, so I hope if you guys stays with me for long, you guys will learn a lot of things from me. So now we are heading into next breaker block pattern. You get? So first of all, we start with the line.
You guys should not be angry. Let me explain the thing again. I don't even know that I muted the thing. So this is what you do once you see this type of breaker block It's pretty simple. I don't know that I muted the thing since. So the thing is pretty simple. Just don't mark the first one, mark the second one, because some people will go and say that GAB say that when you see this breaker, you see the sweep. No, don't mark the first one. First one is trap. Mark the second one because the second one is internal. So the main break is one that denoted that second one. So that second one is valid. You understand? That second one is pretty valid. So take the second one, don't take the first one because it's trap. And if you guys don't know how to do this thing, you guys like some people will be like, okay, two break of structure together, like big break of structure and the small break of structure. You take the break of structure. You understand? And so this thing break above. If this thing did not have like this one is another example of these two entry that I explained now. If the thing did not have sweep, let me say the thing is like this. There is no sweep. It's only the okay. Let me see. The thing is like this. There is no sweep in it. The thing is like this. There is no sweep in it. Like this. There is no sweep in it. Okay. The thing created the first break of structure. Then pull up to create the second one. So if you see something like this now, this is how you did it, and the thing generated inducement for you here. So if you see something like this, this is how you did it. First of all, don't rush. I learned this one from Tony. So first of all, you mark down your first break of structure, which is this thing. First break of structure. Then you mark the smallest one, the nearest break of structure that is not be outside the thing, but the nearest break of structure that is inside the zone. You mark it. So once you mark the nearest break of structure, then what you will do is that you're not going to enter from this zone. You're not going to enter from this break because there is no this thing sweep here. You're not going to enter from it. What we do is that you're going to look for a zone here. You're going to look for a zone below this place, either imbalance or any types of zones. You mark it. Just know the market is going to come and do what? Tap this thing for continuation. Don't enter this thing when market is when market is going down, like the main trend is down trend. Like you're going to know, you're going to be liquidated. So just enter it when market is moving up, like for continuation entry. This is it. Target your next high. This is for continuation entry. I repeat, this is for continuation entry. So this is the difference. This is that all of them look exactly the same, but the difference here, because this one has a sweep, but they do not have sweep. You see the difference between this one, this continuation entry, this double break of structure, continuation entry, and the breaker block entry. So whenever you see something like it, don't enter from the first one. Just kindly with have patience and wait for the second one. Second one is going to be valid, and mostly this second one used to carry the sniper entry and come. So just kindly wait for it. So another types of breaker, another types of this thing. What is it called? Breaker block is that this thing now is a zone. This thing now, okay, let me see. This zone has a sweep of liquidity, then internal inducements, then break, then market now later come and tap this zone. And the time when market tap this zone, you were not online that time when market come and tap into this zone, and you were not online that time. So this is how the thing will be. Let me see. Market have already tapped into that zone like this, and the thing did not give you something like, let me say, sweep, because this breaker block the market is going to generate for you now must have like this is the sweep that the thing, but the thing not later give you sweep and then I end up like this, cutting like this. If the thing give you confirmation, fine. Like if the thing gives you an inducement, not confirmation, then this breaker block is valid. It's valid. Clone it, bring it to this place. Okay. So let me explain it very well. This breaker block is valid. This and why this thing is valid is because this what they call this thing is zone breaker block. The breaker is coming from a zone. The thing is reacting inside this zone This is your zone, A plus setup or B plus, anything you call it. Market reacting inside that zone. So the breaker there is coming in, it is reacting from the zone, like the breaker is reacting inside that zone. So this is the only time you will mark it as your distinct breaker block, like continuation breaker block. You mark it because the thing gives you an inducement. So you know the market is still going to come back and tap you with the breaker block. I seen it because there's a liquidity there, which is your inducement there. There's a liquidity there, which is your inducement. The market will come and tap you there. So your SL, I'll show you how to press breaker block SL. So target your next high. So the second one is that it's not must the thing must give you, it's not more that the thing must give you a this thing, what is it called again? It's not more that the thing must give you an inducement, because sometimes you might not see any inducement there, which most of confirmation entry not used to come with inducement. You might see like this, you might see like this, but because there's no inducement here, because I've gotten your zone and everything, there's no inducement here. Just know that the thing is reacting inside the zone. The only thing it needs for you to join market, just this is what market will do. Market will come back to that your entry. If you check this one very well, this one has an inducement. See the inducement. So market will react from here. Market will react from here to your TP like this. Simple. But this one, since we don't have any inducement, this is our main continuation entry. This one is also a continuation entry, but this one is A plus continuation entry. Why this one is just normal continuation entry? Just like this, market will react, then boom to your TP. I seen it to your TP, and never ignores any breaker block that has a sweep. But this one is a sweep, and this one is a breaker. Never ignores any breaker block that has a sweep. So here will be your TP. I seen it. It's very simple. Very simple. Breaker blocks are very simple. So this zone breaker block is very important. I seen it. That is a zone breaker block. If you miss anything, something like that. A zone breaker block. This is what they call a zone breaker block, because you have gotten your zone and the breaker block is reacting inside the zone, that zone. So you don't have to be waiting for the breaker to give you sweep of it, like something like this. So you know that you have already gotten your sweep. No. Like some people will be like, there's no sweep here, this breaker is not going to hold. No. Like thinking is also valid, but for continuation entry, I rather recommended this one for you, because you mostly see this, or you see double bottom. The bottom is good, but for confirmation entry, I recommended this one for you, because this one is the only one that you will see there without the break. That is the only time you will use this type of breaker block that do not have sweep of liquidity. If you check, there is no sweep of liquidity there. This one did not have inducement, but this one have inducement. But this one is the A plus, right? This one is the B plus. So it's still the same thing, no sweep of liquidity, no sweep, but the zone has a sweep of liquidity, which is our this thing here. This is our sweep, this is the inducement, this is break. So everything here is pretty simple. This is another type of breaker block. That this is the only time you apply this type of breaker block in the market. So we are done with the breaker block entry. What you guys will do is that you guys are going to practice this. You guys are going to practice this in that group. So once you are done watching this video, go and practice it. Send like practice on 2 or 4 or 5 pairs. Then send screenshots of it to me in that group. We're going to send it in that group. So you're going to send it in that group. Or if you don't want to send it, if you want me to know you particular, you can send it to my DM and ask me a question whether it's valid or not valid. But just backtest this thing on live chat the market have already used. Not like, don't go and wait for the new one, just backtest it on the one the market have already used. So thank you. By the way, my name is GAB FX. For people that like stealing people's video, everything here is GAB, 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 GAB.